You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Monday, December 14th, 2020. It is also the third week of Advent, and if you noticed, we are lighting the pink candle this week to remind us to be joyful as we wait. Now, Sprouts, this week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we are going to be talking about waiting. Waiting is hard, and Advent, the season of waiting, is particularly hard because we long for Christmas. We long for Christmas because of all the reasons, because it's fun, there's presents, because of Jesus' birth, because of all the traditions and the food and everything. And it can be very easy to rush ahead during Advent and skip this season of waiting. And in fact, with every day that passes, I feel, at least in our own family, that waiting becomes a little bit harder. But Advent is long this year. We have 2 full weeks of Advent remaining. And so we are going to spend time talking about why waiting is important and how we can wait well. So the first thing I want to remind you about, Sprouts, is the reality of God. Now, think about this. We talk a lot about how we say yes to God, or sometimes we say no to God, how we choose to build our life upon God, all of these things. But I want you to realize that the only time when we can say yes to God and be with God and really build our life around God is right now. A lot of times we think, oh, I'll do that in the future. Oh, I'll spend time with God then, or I'll be closer to God at that point. We think about God as being in the future, but I tell you what, God isn't in the future. God is right here, right now. It's very common for both children and adults to sort of miss God because we're stuck in the past worrying about things that have already happened, or we're in the future longing for that future event or worried about that future event. But Advent is a time to remember that God is here in this moment, waiting for us here. That's why in Advent, we do things like turn out the lights and light a candle. Get rid of all of those distractions that have us thinking about the past or the future, and think about just that little flame, or 3 little flames now, flickering in the dark. That's all we focus on in this moment, and we allow God to come and be with us. Now, as you are struggling to wait, I want you to remember something else. God has something that He is doing right here, right now. The Church in her wisdom gave us the season of Advent because God had made it clear that people need to be prepared to receive the Messiah of the world. We need Advent to prepare, but all of humanity needed generations and generations of time before they were able to receive Jesus Christ. Remember, from Adam and Eve, when the first sin was committed, through all those years with Noah and Abraham, and then through the Egyptian slavery, and then Moses, and then King David, and then the exiles, and all that followed, that was thousands of years they waited. And they weren't just waiting. God wasn't just making them wait. God was preparing them to receive Jesus. And Jesus came when they were prepared to receive Him. Likewise, during these 4 weeks of Advent, God is preparing you. So don't skip Advent. Just as the Israelites needed preparation, we do too. So, Sprouts, we're going to talk about waiting well all week, but my challenge for you tonight is to recommit to your Advent commitments. Go back and light those candles once more if you've gotten out of the habit. Go back to your Advent devotional and do that. Maybe catch up on a few previous days, but be with God here and now. Christmas will come, but it's not Christmas yet. That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be. Just one more thing, the Catholic Sprouts podcast will be off all of next week so that we can prepare for and celebrate Christmas as a family. But we will be back the following week to wrap up 2020 and welcome 2021 together. And so from our family to yours, have a blessed and holy Christmas.